show is brought to you by the Ostrom Group, the best cars in the world.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Rob Ash Show with Drake Coach Rob Ash. My name is Mick Trier, and Coach, a tough ball game on Saturday. 28-3 the final score. An outstanding Butler team. You went down to hands to defeat.
Well, Butler was a great football team, Mick. They were big and strong. They could run well. They had a tailback that was just terrific. And, you know, this is not a disgrace to lose to Butler. I think we could have played a little better at times. We had our chances in the football game, but they were really good.
It was an outstanding football team. Weather conditions, did that play any?
Well, it was a tough day. You know, it rained all day throughout the entire game, and you know we're the passing team, and we were lighter and hopefully a little quicker, but quickness didn't show up much on that field, so it was tough. But it's not an excuse. They played well in the rain, and we both had to play in it. So I just have to hand it to them. They did better than we did.
One of the Drake fans said to me last week, says, "Boy, it's tough to play these tough games week after week after week, and but yeah, you got to get up for them."
That's right, and we didn't have any trouble getting up for this game. I mean, this was our first conference game. It was away on the road and so forth, but I don't think that played a factor. Our guys were ready to play. We were excited after our first two wins, and the only thing was that Butler was ready to play too. It was their first conference game as well, and I thought of watching them on tape prior to our game and then watching them in this game on Saturday. Butler was more motivated and more energetic than they had been their first two games, so the conference thing helped them too.
Got some highlights coming up. We were hoping for a few more good highlights by the Drake Bulldogs, but we'll show the highlights we have for you. We'll have the highlights coming up next on the Rob Ash Show.
For nearly 40 years, Dave Ostrom has offered Central Iowans cars that set the highest standard for excellence, superior automotive technology, style, and of course, value. Plus, a commitment to service designed to satisfy your needs. Today, our three dealerships offer an outstanding selection of import and domestic cars. The Ostrom Group. Together, we bring you more of the best cars in the world.
Hi, this is Tom Baldwin, owner of Home Team Pizza. That's the only place you can get Des Moines Super Larger Large, that fantastic 16-inch pizza. You already know we make our dough every day from scratch, and so it's the freshest anywhere. And you already know we guarantee delivery in 30 minutes or you get your pizza free. But believe it or not, there's still some people that don't know that our Larger Large pizza with single topping is only $7.99, and it's absolutely delicious. So call Home Team Pizza right now for your Larger Large.
Service.
Answers.
Savings. Our company is smaller now, but the level of service from Holmes Murphy is still the same.
When I have insurance questions, Holmes Murphy has the answers.
They found ways to reduce our premiums by cutting our risks. Integrity.
Service.
Advice.
Leaders turn to Holmes Murphy.
And welcome back to the Rob Ash Show. Coach, on the highlights today, I don't think the Bulldog fans are going to see us running the football a lot, and of course a great defense you matched up with on Saturday.
Well, Butler's defense was outstanding, Mick. We've really had a great season so far running the football up until this game, but the difference was that Butler's defensive line was not only big, but they could run real well. They were very athletic. Their linebackers, same thing. Their front people did a great job, and I think our guys did the best they could. We had some holes at times, but not what we've been used to the last couple games. So we're just going to credit it to Butler's defense and get back to work and try to get back going again next week.
I think also in the highlights they're going to see today, there's some opportunities for the Bulldogs, and it just wasn't your day.
Nick, even though we had trouble running the football, we still had times where we had big openings, and we had some pass plays where we just missed getting the ball to an open receiver. And I really think if we could have put some pressure on Butler, maybe we could have seen a few more mistakes in the game and we could have gotten going.
Let's get at it. The highlights of the ball game on Saturday. Now, you're going to see the umbrellas. That wasn't because it was too sunny that day.
It was really a tough day. Butler has a great stadium. It seats 19,000, but it was raining today, and everybody was there. The sparse crowd had umbrellas on. This is the first series of plays. First play, in fact. Butler tossed to Johnson. He's a fine player. I think they thought they could run the sweep at will, but Joe Bianchi made a good play. Then on third down, take a look here. This is the first pass of the game, the first third down situation. Tipped off Johnson's hands, and Mike Beeman, number 29, makes a great interception for Drake. So we got off to a fast start. Their first possession, we get the turnover, we got the football. We we got on third down. We got ourselves in 3rd and 20, but we hit Chad Briley on the flanker screen. He makes a couple guys miss, gets around the corner, gets the first down, out of bounds. So we're off to a great start. We've got a 25-yard gain, 1st and 10 on the 25-yard line or so, but on third down, our left guard stepped on Jamie's foot, and he fell down, so we had to try for the field goal. And this kind of summarizes the way the day went, this field goal try. Billy Willers, who hadn't missed one for a long time, this ball hits the upright and fell down. It was high enough, it was far enough, it would just hit the upright, so we didn't get a scoring opportunity there. We got the opportunity, but we didn't get the points on the board. Still stopping Johnson well, though, on 1st and 2nd down, but on 3rd down, Johnson broke away here on a draw play. He gets outside of our contain, and he's a big man, 220 pounds. You can see he runs extremely well. Tommy Becker, who our backside cornerback, did a fantastic job hustling all the way across the field to bring Johnson down. That's the kind of inspired effort that we like to see from our players. But they had 1st and goal at the 1, and with that big back, they were just able to power it in. So the big play led to a Butler touchdown and a 7-0 lead. But, you know, we had the first opportunity. You know, it should at least be 7-3 here, and if Jamie didn't get tripped up to fall down, maybe it could have been better. There's the sort of balcony where their touchdown club watches the games. Here we go again. Butler got the ball back after a punt, and you can see Johnson running around the end. We're there. He's just a big guy. He gets a few extra yards, but on that particular play, we stopped him, and we were able to get back and get a 3rd down and 4 situation. Julian Nathaniel, number 22, ran real hard for us all day, got the 1st down, kept that drive alive. Now Jamie's going to throw the ball down the field. This is a play that we really like, our 4 streaks. It worked so well last week, and the Butler corner came across and made an interception. They tried the reverse right after the interception. Craig Ortwerth wasn't fooled. Big play for our defense. Again, defense still playing pretty well to this point. And then Johnson gets another big play. Watch this play. He's going to run to his right. You're going to see a lot of missed tackles, not because of our guys being so bad or anything, but just because he's a big back. He ran through about 4 guys there. And I put that play in just to show you what a hard runner this Johnson was. He had over 200 yards rushing in the game. And I'm sure he's, you know, if he's not the best, he's certainly close to one of the best backs we'll see all year. Defense did rise to the occasion. Todd Lee with a big hit on Johnson, stopping him there. So then they had to settle for a field goal try as the defense held inside the 10-yard line. The field goal try, again, the conditions probably having an impact on everybody here, but they missed it, so it was still 7-3. Johnson again on the run. We tackled him. Darren Book, number 16. Todd DeMoss, number 40. Getting in on the tackle. They even knocked his helmet off here, but didn't seem to slow him down very much. He had a good day. Then we made a mistake. We had a punt snap here. We did have an unblocked guy coming through, number 83. I think Matt Sneller looked at him instead of at the ball and dropped the ball. So, you know, we gave the Butler offense a second chance down deep, and this time they capitalized. Johnson fought his way in after we stopped him on 1st down. They made the play, the touchdown, then the extra point was no good. So, you know, we're still in pretty good shape, 13-0. But, you know, the way things were going there, if we hadn't made the mistakes, we could have been a lot closer or even ahead. Then we came back here at the end of the 2nd period. Jamie D'Angelo with a nice long ball to Rich Hoskins, a good firm catch there by Hoskins in traffic. Jamie again on the pass. This one goes out to Chad Briley. Now you'll look and see that it's just a little overthrown. That's because the defensive back held Chad after Chad made the break to the outside. So that stopped us there. They got the penalty. Now watch this play. Chad's wide open. The ball just hit his hand and it was too far overthrown. That could have been a touchdown because he was wide open. So we had to settle for the field goal try, and in the driving rain, Billy Willers kicked it right through. So we got the field goal out of the long pass there. Could have had a touchdown on either one of those 2 passes to Briley, but unfortunately we had to settle for the field goal. Craig Ortwerth smelled out the screen here, as did Todd DeMoss. They didn't get the chance to convert, so we got the ball back for one more try here before the half. Jamie on a little delay to Mike Stanfell. Mike gets away from one man, almost kept his footing there to get away from the second one, and there was nobody left to stop him. If he could have made that, he could have kept his balance there. So we came back here, we're throwing the ball down. There's only about a minute left in the half. We're trying for one of our patented pre-half touchdowns, but it wasn't in the cards. So 13-3.
13-3 at half. We'll be back to take a look at the second half highlights after we show you some of our sponsors here that make the Rob A Show possible. Coach certainly had some opportunities in the first half to put some more points on the scoreboard. Going into the second half, what'd you tell your team?
I told them we were in good shape because we were only down 10 points, could have been closer, and I thought we were playing pretty well. We had the ball first in the second half, so we came out here, we ran the ball pretty well. Here's Mike Stanfield on a good run. You know, we did get the run game cranked up from time to time. It just we never were able to get any consistency. But we had the ball here, we got the run. Here's a fake to Mike Stanfield, then a bootleg back. Jamie makes a nice completion out here to Hoskins. Rich does a good job of getting away from a couple people, getting some extra yards. So we got a chance here moving the football. Jamie's dropping back to pass again, trying to hit the little delay route underneath that Mike Stanfield caught right before the half, but it got tipped at the line of scrimmage. That was a third down play, and we had to punt. Now Butler coming back. This is a big play for them. They got into zero coverage, man-to-man type coverage, and they were able to get open down the middle. Then they got in we were in a 3-deep zone here. We should have had 2 defensive backs deep on this ball. We're not asking Tommy Becker to cover 2 guys, believe me. And they got the ball away. We had a busted coverage, and so Butler struck back quickly to go ahead 21-3 after the 2-point conversion. You know, that was difficult because we had started to move the ball a little bit. And we still, you know, they thought they could continue to do it at will, but when we were in position, we covered Butler and we got the ball out of there. That was a nice play there by Brad Nemec. Here's their draw play. And Eric Musha, number 36, Ortwerth again, number 99, making some good plays. So we still stopped him there. Here's a play-action pass from Jamie to Chad. Just a little bit underthrown. Chad had a step or 2 on him. We come back with the draw play to Julian Nathaniel. Julian ran extremely well in this football game. Gets his face mask grabbed there, which the officials see it. Now, see, Julian's upset. He says, "You got my face mask." The official says, "Okay, you're right. We got it." And so they got the call. We got a big opportunity here across into Butler territory. Jamie drops back here and throws it one-on-one coverage to Briley. Usually that's a touchdown for us, and there was pressure on Jamie, and the ball was just slightly overthrown. You know, it was just one of those days, Mick, where we just couldn't seem to quite capitalize. Here in the fourth quarter, big play, I feel, in the game. We knock the ball loose here for a fumble, and you see our man recovers. Watch the replay. You'll see Todd DeMoss coming in from the outside. The ball's loose, clearly loose. Now watch, if you'll run it back, you'll see that the knee's not down yet. The ball is already loose. This ball should have been ruled a fumble. The officials, however, ruled that Johnson was down. And we, you know, it's cut off here on the tape, but we got that ball back, and then 2 plays later, Butler goes against a blitz. We had another blown coverage. You know, we shouldn't have blown the coverage, but we should have had the football. And, you know, that was a clinching touchdown for Butler, 28-3, and it just made it impossible, given the rain and all the conditions and everything that were going on, for us to catch up. We did continue to fight, though. I got to give our team credit. We never gave up in this football game. We kept running hard. Julian here with a good run. You know, we did our best to fight back. Our defense didn't allow Butler to do any more after that point. And, you know, it was a good effort. Here's our flanker screen again. Chad Briley played his heart out in this football game. We got tackled there at the end of the game. And, you know, it just didn't seem like we could quite get anything rolling, you know, to make a flurry. But I think that fumble was a real discouraging part of the game. You watch the last, we did get one other opportunity. Todd Lee recovers a fumble. They couldn't do anything about that one, Nick. They had to call that a fumble for us, yeah. And so we got, and after this one, we got a nice play. We're going to fake to Cortez Hull. Jamie is. He's going to come around and hit Dave Doran. This is one of our favorite plays. So we got a first down. We're down into about the 30-yard line or so, and go with the play-action pass. Again, trying to, you know, get down there and score, but we're down 28-3. Ball was tipped away by the linebacker, and I guess that just summarizes it. We just could never get on the board.
Indeed. Let's take nothing away from Butler. They are a good football team. They really execute well, and they hit hard.
They hit real hard. They're big and strong. They're fast. They're very well coached. I think they clearly deserve to be the favorite in the league. I'm not predicting they're going to go undefeated, though, because there's other good teams in the league, too, and we're hoping they'll stub their toes somewhere and we can get back in the race.
Matter of fact, they have, what, Dayton in a couple weeks?
They got to play Dayton
at Dayton.
At Dayton. So we're hoping for, you know, some help along the way.
Let's take a look at the statistics of this football game, Coach.
Well, you know, these are the, I got to put them up here because we do it every week, but, you know, they did dominate the football game. You know, look at the interesting thing, though, in terms of passing yards. You know, we had situation there where they only completed 3 passes in this football game, but all 3 of them were big and 2 of them were for touchdowns. So it was mostly the running game where they moved the football, and you got to give them credit. They were able to run the ball in a day when that's really the best thing to do due to the conditions.
And I guess I got to bring it up again. The Bulldogs did have some chances to put some more points on the scoreboard, and just one of those days.
I wish we could have got off to a better start. You know, with the opportunity that we had with the interception, we had an opportunity to get the ball in for the first touchdown. Jamie fell down. It wasn't his fault. You know, and a couple other little situations like that right before the half, the other opportunity that we could have had. If we could have got a couple touchdowns somewhere along the line, gone in even or 13-10 even, you know, that might have put the ball game second half, put some pressure on Butler and given us a chance to hang in there.
We do have the Play of the Week coming up, my favorite, and we'll also have our Player of the Week as well in just a moment.
This is your world, genuine and true, working together in all that you do, and you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud, Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your. Proud to be your bud.
Sam Siegel, his wife Annette, daughters Elise and Marlene, and grandchildren Michael, Risa, and Mikey invite you to join them and all the employees at Home Plastics in supporting the Drake Bulldogs all season long. This fall, there's exciting nonstop action and entertainment when the Bulldogs hit the field. Take your family to all the games. Sam does. There are 2 names Des Moines can count on: Home Plastics and Drake University. To make a great Sunday brunch, start with a great view. Add something colorful and healthy. And don't forget to add something a little sinful. Add something steamy and delicious and really pile it on. Then make sure you add the right stuff, like good friends. Sunday morning at the Capitol View Dining Room. Brunch at the Best Western Starlight Village downtown once, and you'll be back for more.
And welcome back to the Rob A. Show. Well, it's time for our Play of the Week, brought to you by the Ostrom Group. And our Play of the Week, this time, the Bulldogs are on defense. Coach?
This week's Play of the Week is an interception by Drake's Mike Beeman on Butler's first pass attempt of the day. You'll see that it's 3rd and long. Drake's in a 3-deep zone. Butler has a split end down here. Todd DeMoss is playing underneath, and Mike Beeman starts out in deep coverage against the split end. Butler's going to drop back to pass, and you'll watch the running back, Johnson, come out of the backfield into the flat. The ball's going to bounce off Johnson's hands right here. Todd DeMoss is in coverage, doesn't have a chance to react, but watch Mike Beeman come out of the top of the screen here. He's beaten the receiver back to the tipped football, gets his hands underneath the football here, and then as the ball starts to squirt out, you'll see him bring his other hand over the top to put it back in, get it cradled. He rolls on the ground, comes over with the football, and that first pass of the day ended up in Drake's possession. So we got the interception on the first pass by Butler, a big play for Drake at the beginning of the football game. That's this week's Play of the Week.
And that's the Play of the Week. It's time now for our Player of the Week, brought to you by Home Team Pizza. You might have guessed this one, defense. Yep, Craig Ortwerth, a defensive end who you saw in the highlights, had a couple of great plays. Todd Kim had an opportunity to talk with him after the game.
This is Todd Kim with our Player of the Week, and this week it's junior defensive end Craig Ortwerth. Craig, I know you guys were disappointed with the outcome against what was a very good Butler team.
Well, all week, Coach said that they were a good team and it's important for us to come out early, and we did, but we made some mental mistakes and they capitalized on them early.
The defense, obviously a week ago, that's not the kind of performance you're used to, giving up 48 points, and this was a very good offensive club. I know Coach Neiman said you guys had a great week of practice, and are you happy with the way, besides giving up a couple of big plays, it seemed like the defense held their own today?
Yeah, they were going to come out and they were going to run the sweep and they were going to run the counter, and I thought we did a pretty good job stopping that, but like again last week, we had some mistakes and they had big busts and for touchdowns.
Talk about the thrill of playing your first conference game, the first in the Pioneer League, and obviously the competition's outstanding, isn't it?
Oh, I can't even explain it. I came to Drake because of a league just like this, and for it to finally come around was really exciting.
Craig, talk about your development a little bit. You really burst onto the scene last year as a sophomore. You came on and made some outstanding plays early in that season. How's your development gone as a player here at Drake?
I've been pretty happy. You know, coaches said that I would have to use my speed because I'm not as big as everybody else, and I was able to make some big plays last year, but this year they know I'm coming, so it's cutting down a little of those.
Are you seeing that people are noticing you more in terms of their game plan on offense?
Yeah, I think they are. They're coming out with maybe some more double teams, but nothing big.
Well, I guess when they double team you, though, somebody else has got to be open, don't they?
Exactly, and it makes it very good for the defense.
Let's talk about you a little bit. You come out of St. Louis. People may not know this, but you were also an outstanding basketball player, and I know you maybe could have had a future at basketball as well, couldn't you?
A couple schools looked at me, but football is where I wanted to go.
Is that always the sport of your first love was football?
Yeah, football is always my first love.
Now, one thing the coaches talk about, your vertical jump. The highest on the team, 32 inches. That's in the media guide as well. Tell us about how that translates into things you can do on the football field when you can have that kind of leaping ability, that kind of spring.
I think it has a lot to do with my quickness because that's where my game relies, and without that, I wouldn't be much out there.
Tell us about where you went to high school in St. Louis and your background a little bit.
From St. Louis, Missouri. I went to St. Louis University High School, which is a small private high school in St. Louis.
Now, next week it's Aurora, this upcoming game. I know you guys disappointed about this loss, but there's a lot of motivation there because this Aurora team took it to you a year ago.
Yeah, they were kind of cocky, and they put us down our throat, but we're going to be ready for them this year.
Okay, Craig, sorry, I know it's a disappointing loss today, but good luck and get ready for next week.
Thanks a lot.
That's defensive end Craig Ortwerth, our player of the week.
Certainly, Coach, one thing to note about Craig, he's a very, very smart player. Always seems to be in the right place at the right time.
Craig does a great job. You know, he knows that he's not a big, strong guy. He's strong, but he's not as big as some of the other guys in the front line, and he's not going to be able to just power over people. So he has to use positioning and quickness, and he's one of those guys you can't fool him on reverses and so forth because he usually plays his position extremely well. He's a real sound part of our defensive line.
One other little side note, of course, he after the loss, he wouldn't want to do that interview very good.
He was a good sport to do the interview. Nobody wanted to go be the player of the week in a loss, but you know he responded well, and I appreciate that for him. You know, he's a fine student too. All of our guys, and I want to say this about our whole team, our guys are good students. They're classy guys. We handle ourselves well in that situation. We handled the loss as good sports, and Craig is, you know, obviously an example of that. So I'm real proud of the whole group for that.
And congratulations to him on our player of the week.
Yeah, that's well deserved.
We'll be back to talk about next week's game right after this.
For nearly 40 years, Dave Ostrom has offered Central Iowans cars that set the highest standard for excellence, superior automotive technology, style, and of course, value, plus a commitment to service designed to satisfy your needs. Today, our 3 dealerships offer an outstanding selection of import and domestic cars. The Ostrom Group. Together, we bring you more of the best cars in the world.
When the delivery time of gasoline, diesel fuel, and motor oil supplies is crucial to Iowa industry. Timely personal service and quality Conoco products at an affordable price that service professionals and their customers can depend on. Parker Oil Company of Des Moines, Iowa.
And welcome back to the Rob A. Show. Coach, before we talk about this week's game, let's talk a little bit about the Pioneer League and take a look at the standings right now after the first week.
Right, each week from this point on in the show, we'll give a standings to the Pioneer League because there will be conference games every week. The Butler-Drake game was only one of the conference games that was out of 2 that were played. Dayton also played San Diego. Dayton won that game 30-7. So you look at Drake, we're down at the bottom of the league. Dayton and Butler are tied for first. By the way, I called Brian Fogarty, who's the coach at the University of San Diego, and told him, welcome to the cellar. And he said, you know, that Dayton was very impressive and that but he thought they matched up pretty well. He's glad to be in the league. It was a fun trip out to Dayton. And, you know, I think he and I both agreed this race is far from over.
I was going to say it's a long season yet, but let's focus now on the game upcoming here for the Bulldogs. Aurora, you're 2-1 in the series, and certainly a game I think the Bulldogs want to win.
I think our team's very motivated to win this game, Mick. Last year, we went out to Aurora. We knew they were a good football team, but we didn't realize quite how much they were gunning for us. And they were really fired up. They played a very tough game. And then at the end of the game, they ran the ball hard at us. I give them credit. You know, they took the game away from us and controlled the ball game at the end. And our team remembers that very much. And that's one of the things about playing a team year after year. People have memories, and our team remembers the end of that game and is highly motivated to try to come back and beat them this year.
They are big and they're strong.
They really are. That's been their trademark, you know, and they've been very successful as well. But they've got tackles, offensive tackles that weigh 300 and 265. Their guards are 250 pounds. Their center is 245 pounds. Their two linebackers are 230 and 220. And so they've got excellent size. And, you know, they're going to be real strong up front. You have to be patient against them because they're going to power the football at you on offense, and they're going to stop your inside running game. So you have to nickel and dime them and be patient.
Now, last Saturday, of course, the Bulldogs had an opportunity to see some good running backs with Butler, and again this week, yet a couple more you're going to have to look at.
Aurora is an I formation team, and you know, if you're going to be a good football team with an I formation, you've got to have a good tailback. They graduated Derek Tiemann last year, who was one of the top rushers in the nation in Division III, but they have two other guys this year that are also very good, Monaco and Dixon. So these two guys are a great pair. They're real hard runners. They're kind of tough blue-collar type guys, and we're going to have to tackle well to keep them from having a big day.
I know one of the questions, of course, you get every week, how's Roy Fletcher here? And Jamie D'Angelo, boy, he really took some shots the other day.
It would have been nice in the Butler game to have Roy available to come in and spell Jamie a little bit, because they did get to Jamie a few times and he got his bell rung real hard a couple times in the Butler game. But Jamie came out of it fine. He's ready to go. I think our game plan at this point is that he'll probably play this game, and then maybe Roy can be back after that, although there's a slight chance Roy might play against Aurora. We'll have to play that day to day. But Jamie's the guy, and I think he can take us to a win.
You know, I think on Saturday is certainly a situation the Bulldogs had a tough time getting the running game going. You'd mentioned after the Simpson game certainly would help the passing was the running. Got to get both of them going.
We have to get our running game going again, Mick, and Aurora's the kind of team that is not the best situation to go into to try to get a running game going, because as I said earlier, they're big and strong and they like to stop the run. But I think this is the best running football team that we've had since I've been at Drake, and I think we can run against most good defenses. Butler was just tough, and the conditions made it even tougher. If we have a dry day and, you know, our guys play like I expect that they can, I think we can run the ball against Aurora.
One good thing though, Parents Weekend, got them in the doghouse. Need a lot of help out there, folks.
That's right. I need a big crowd. We need to have everybody come out and support the Bulldogs in this football game. You know, it's payback time for Aurora. I think our team will play well. They're a good football team. You know, Aurora was undefeated last year. They were in the NCAA Division III playoffs last year. They have a great football team, and I think it'll be an outstanding college football game.
Coach, I got some good news for you. We got an extra Drake Bulldog fan coming in. Chad Briley's family had a little girl.
That's right. Chad got married during the off season, and on Sunday night, about an hour or two after we got back from Indianapolis, his wife had a little baby girl, Caitlin. So congratulations to proud papa Chad Briley.
You know, I'll tell you again though, for the folks that every week the Bulldogs have a big game coming up. It gets no easier, and I'll tell you, it's going to be a tough one.
It'll be a tough game, but if we get good support at home, we always play well at home anyway. Maybe we can get them in the doghouse.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, Mick.
Thanks for watching the Rob A. Show, and we'll see you next week.